Hey guys, Meg Kay here with .2 Esports. I'm joined today by G2 Jankos, who's just come off a fairly surprising loss to Schalke 04 in the second week of the LEC. Jankos, could you explain to us what went wrong for you guys in that game?
Well, I think that we could have been more together, so to say, when it comes to the draft. I think we had different ideas of how we want to approach this game, or maybe what do we value in certain champions. So that is the first thing, and it's not really on the coaching staff only, even though I would like to say that's Grab's fault. It's not only his fault. I think it's us communicating as players. And then the other thing, of course, clearly visible in game as well, was the early game, which we misplayed quite a lot. We just kind of died quite a lot trying to invade or taking bad fights in river. And then I also think I made a bad call in the early game, which made my bot lane behind. So that was not very good. And then the game snowballed. If you play against Tiev and Kaisa and you mistake and you make mistakes in the early game, the game gets very, very hard to play on side lane, as they can always join, but not only on side lane. Even if you go to the mid lane and they have Aatrox and TF pushing the side lanes, and we try to make a mid fight, all they have to do is just press TF ult, Aatrox TP, and they can also always easily join, right? So as soon as you get behind a team comp like that, it's very hard to come back, and I'm very glad that we got 3 Drakes in the end, and we tried our best to come back. It was just not enough, and we were the worst team.
How do you guys deal with losses like these? Because obviously we've seen from your social media and like the behind the scenes videos that we get from you guys that you're very positive and you like to joke about things and you don't like to let things affect you or take them super seriously. How does a loss like this particularly matter to you in the long run?
Well, in the long run, not at all. As for today, it's probably gonna be a little bit harder to sleep, because when you lose like that, it's just, I know, you tend to think about it a lot, right? And I'm probably, on the same page with all my teammates, and all of them have like the same issues with losing. So it's just very bothersome on the same day. And it's very bothersome throughout the whole week, even up until the point where you go on stage again and you are able to, prove yourself, and you are able to show that you are better than what you showed the last time, or that you actually improved from what you showed last time. So, we did laugh it off, kind of. We spoke about the game. We are on the same page now. We will have some meetings about what do we value in drafts, how we want to approach the week number 3, what failed in week number 2. But I think that overall, it is good to lose, right? You improved from it the most when opponents uses your flaws against you. It just feels good. And we had games in the past in Spring Split already, where we were behind in the early game and opponents were just gifting us a win, right? So I think we have to work mainly on our early games and on how do we, get behind sometimes. But it's gonna be fine. We have a long time. Playoffs is all that matters, and getting to playoffs, because we didn't really get to playoffs yet. But I assume we can get to playoffs, and if we do get to playoffs, I think we will win the playoffs, and we'll be the champions. So up until then, it's all good, and we will be trying our best, and it just sucks.
Do you think that coming off a loss, you tend to prepare harder in the following week for your upcoming games?
I think it could be the case, or at least we kind of try to understand each other better, right? Because we talk about the game a lot and we play a lot of games, but sometimes if you don't lose for a long time, I mean, I guess it was only 4 games for us, then you maybe tend to be either overconfident or you just go with like a very standard draft and you think you can just play it because you are the better team. But it's good to either have like something prepared in your pocket, or it's good to have like a game plan going to the every game, like a not exactly a standard one, but like something tricky that you can pull off to get advantage. And normally when we lose to something, we are really good at reading why did we lose, and what to do next time to prevent it from happening, be it the draft or be it the game. Normally it's a bit of both. So I think we will be stronger for week 3, and we are going to play against FNATIC, I believe, as well on Saturday. So I think that game is going to be a banger, and we'll try our hardest to win.
You mentioned the FNATIC game. I think it's been talked about quite a lot already, but I think the game for you guys that is by far the most anticipated of the split is your game against Rogue in week 4. How do you think that matchup's going to go? Because obviously Rogue are looking incredibly strong right now.
Well, I mean, I think it would be probably way more hype if both of us would be, defeatless, undefeated. But now we lost, so it's probably less hype. Of course, we still want to play Rogue. They look like the strongest team in the league currently right after us or before us, you know, whatever. We would, of course, place ourselves ahead of them, even though we lost the game and they didn't. But I'm quite curious myself. I feel like they are getting a lot of leads by teams not knowing how to play macro against them. And besides that, I feel like they are pretty good at playing like the game override, right? It's not like they are cheesing their way to victory. That's not the case. I think they just have a solid macro. And I think that a lot of the teams in Europe don't know how to play against it. And this is how we win some games as well. But, you know, we are the macro team, right? So I don't think that will be the issue. Besides that, we can match them on every position when it comes to individual skill. Most likely it will come down to, you know, who has the better draft or basically who plays better if the draft is even. That being said, we have the coach disadvantage as our coach is Grabs. So we probably have to take matters in our own hands and we have to prepare a pick and ban phase with the players for that game, and we should take the win.
Awesome. I think I can speak for pretty much the entire community when I say I'm really excited to see you guys face off, and thanks for joining me today.